Small business owners face a critical financial risk every single day when hiring graphic designers online. It's a trap so many fall into. You allocate your hard-earned branding budget, completely expecting custom, bespoke art that's going to elevate your company, right? But instead, you're handed low-effort, AI-generated template work. We're talking about the kind of generic clip art you could have instantly prompted a computer to create yourself for absolutely free. In an era where literally anyone can generate a picture in 10 seconds, the real challenge is finding authentic strategic design. This financial danger, wasting your early runway on useless, legally ambiguous assets, is exactly what we are auditing today in this explainer. We're looking at exactly how to shield your startup capital from all that automated noise. Finding secure, reliable branding solutions isn't just an aesthetic choice. It's a major decision-making factor for startups trying to establish trust in an incredibly crowded market. Think about it for a second. If you get this wrong, you don't just end up with an ugly image. You burn your early capital on a logo that looks identical to 1,000 other automated brands out there. It's a well-known fact that up to 20% of new businesses fail within their first year, and a massive contributing factor to that is poor market positioning and a total lack of consumer trust. You lose that trust before you've even made your first sale if your visual identity feels cheap. We absolutely have to ruthlessly separate the cheap, automated output from highly tailored, custom design that actually generates a real return on investment. When we analyze the verified data on this platform, we have to strip away all the marketing fluff and look exclusively at the cold, hard numbers. So today, we're conducting an objective, balanced market analysis of one highly vetted freelancer profile, Ivan_Holem. Rather than taking glossy sales copy at face value, we're looking at exactly how a premium profile operates differently from the rest of the pack. We want to identify the exact consumer safety markers you should be aggressively looking for. The freelance market is vast and, honestly, largely unregulated, which means the burden of quality control falls entirely on you, the buyer. By auditing this specific profile, we can basically reverse engineer the anatomy of a reliable digital service and give you a clear roadmap for your next critical hire. Right out of the gate, look at the number 551 on the profile. This represents their total completed reviews, and it's sitting right alongside a very strong 4.8 average rating. To put that into perspective, in the freelance world, accumulating over 500 independent reviews can take years of relentless, consistent output. This establishes our initial baseline for the audit. It proves for sure that this isn't some fly-by-night operation just popping up to grab a quick buck. The service has been stress-tested by hundreds of actual paying buyers over a long period. In a digital landscape where accounts can literally disappear overnight, historical proof of delivery is one of your absolute strongest shields against risk. It shows structural reliability and consistent client management, not just a one-hit wonder. The crucial point here is how these specific indicators confirm platform-backed security. This profile is vetted by Fiverr Pro, holds top-rated status, and currently shows active orders in the queue. Now, most people don't fully understand what that Pro badge actually entails. It isn't just some shiny digital sticker handed out to anyone with a pulse. No. It means a dedicated human team at the platform has manually reviewed their portfolio, professional background, and industry expertise. It acts as an extra layer of safety for your wallet, ensuring you're dealing with top-tier talent rather than an amateur masking as a professional. Coupling that with top-rated status means they've cleared strict performance thresholds. They are consistently delivering on time and maintaining elite communication standards with their clients.
Then we hit the $420 starting price for their premium custom monogram logo design. Now, while that might induce a slight bit of sticker shock for a brand new startup operating out of a garage, look at what it actually includes. You're getting 3 unique concepts, 3D mockups, and full stationary designs. In a market completely flooded with $5 logos and instant generators, a $420 price tag is a vital indicator showing serious high-end market positioning. Services charging this much simply cannot survive by relying on cheap template churn. The market would course correct and shut them down fast. Instead, they're operating a professional design studio model that demands genuine results. Premium pricing acts as a natural filter. It filters out bad actors and guarantees you receive dedicated, comprehensive focus on your brand.
The specific workflow structure indicates a massive level of human editing effort and a highly customized approach. Just look at this 5-step process. It moves from strong communication in an initial questionnaire straight into hand sketching, and frankly, sketching is the ultimate anti-AI defense mechanism since we all know AI still heavily struggles with drawing natural hands and coherent sketches. After the sketch phase, it moves into collaborative feedback and finally to precise revisions before being finalized. This linear, transparent progression guarantees that the client's specific vision is engineered right into the final product. You aren't just hoping a computer spits out something halfway decent on the first try. It's a structured methodology designed entirely around client alignment and bespoke creation. Behind that 5-step process is the actual professional background driving the art. This profile belongs to a Norwegian art director with a full decade of graphic design experience. 10 years of hands-on industry practice acts as a massive buffer against automated, low-effort risk. Think about everything an art director absorbs over a decade: shifting market trends, consumer psychology, typography nuances, and the actual mechanics of visual storytelling. You're essentially securing a highly trained human brain capable of nuanced brand strategy. And thankfully, a decade of human experience still heavily beats out software algorithms when it comes to understanding how people actually respond to visual cues in the real world. This is the distinct difference between just purchasing an image and investing in a brand identity. When we examine the project history, we find verifiable client portfolio proof. Take this 5-star quote from a user named Hollowbox1, who states the process was, quote, "so simple and easy. I'm really glad I had this done." When a buyer publicly expresses that level of relief, it strongly validates the efficiency of that exact 5-step workflow we just analyzed. It shows the friction, usually associated with outsourcing, has been entirely removed. Dealing with remote contractors can honestly often be a total nightmare of miscommunication and missed deadlines. So finding documented proof that a seller makes the process effortless is an absolutely critical metric for any business owner who simply doesn't have the bandwidth to micromanage a creative project. The platform analytics also flag user cost schist as a repeat client who has spent up to $1,000 on this service. And this brilliantly illustrates sustained trust and satisfaction over time. Corporate buyers are ruthlessly protective of their working capital, right? They do not return to spend $1,000 unless the return on investment is tangible, secure, and completely reliable. Most freelance transactions are just one-and-done deals. Finding a designer that a business actively chooses to return to is incredibly rare. Repeat business at high price points is the ultimate green flag in any service audit. It proves the deliverables don't just look good in a portfolio, they actually perform effectively out in the real marketplace, prompting companies to reinvest.
What many users overlook in the portfolio is the actual depth of the case studies, like the Sven Van Ostrand identity shown here. This project wasn't just some quick drawing passed off in an afternoon before clocking out. It required strategic logo development, precise typography selection, and creating a cohesive, timeless design system. It is about building an architectural foundation for long-term business growth, not just making something that looks trendy for a few weeks on social media. A timeless design system ensures your brand remains recognizable and authoritative as it scales. It prevents the costly nightmare of having to completely rebrand 2 years down the line simply because your initial logo couldn't adapt in new product lines or marketing channels.
Stripping away all the noise, this specific vetted seller profile naturally positions itself as a highly secure solution for businesses trying to protect their branding capital. We didn't find any aggressive sales tactics, confusing upsells, or hidden fees anywhere in this audit. Instead, what we found is transparent pricing, a clear methodology, and a service that was handpicked by a professional vetting team. It's exactly the kind of friction-free, reliable environment a startup needs to operate safely online. By relying on established track records and clear step-by-step methodologies, you effectively insulate your company from the massive quality gaps that plague the broader freelance market, ensuring your resources are actually utilized effectively.
As we wrap up this explainer, you really need to look inward at your own operations. Does your business currently have a verified safety net for its branding budget, or are you just rolling the dice on the cheapest option available? The stakes for getting your early visual identity right are incredibly high. When making your next hiring decision, remember to rely on hard numbers, transparent workflows, and genuine human expertise. Protect your capital and ensure your investment actually builds your brand rather than diminishing it. Think about it, and make sure your next creative partnership is built on an audited foundation of trust and proven quality.